buckle up for this story. According to a study by drivers' education company Zutobi, South Africa is the most dangerous country to drive in. It got a safety ranking of 3.4 out of 10. Contributing factors include alcohol and non-compliance with seatbelt rules. To tell us more about this, I'm joined by the co-founder of Zutobi, Drivers Education, Leo Waldenback. Thank you very much, Leo, for your time here on ENCA. Just tell me, how did you come to this conclusion? What are the methods that you used?
Yeah, so for the most part, we looked at the World Health Organization data to estimate these numbers, because that's the best place we can actually get data from the same source for multiple countries around the world.
All right, so you say that our problem here in South Africa is alcohol abuse or accidents that happen because people are intoxicated. What else did you find?
Well, I mean, actually these numbers were staggering when I saw them. I had the team recheck them because they were so bad. So I was like, okay, there has to be an error here, because these numbers are really terrible, especially for South Africa and some other countries. For example, South Africa, 57% of the deaths in South Africa on the roads have an intoxicated driver. Are due to an intoxicated driver. These are like terrible numbers. They should be much lower. In much of Europe, they're around 10 to 20%, and in America, it's about 30%. So you're doubling and tripling those numbers. That's terrible. Then we see the front seatbelt wearing rate. So how many people are wearing their seatbelts? It's only 31% in South Africa. These are also terrible numbers. And when I look at these numbers, I get a bit frustrated, because I'm in driver's education, driver safety, and I don't really understand how this can be happening, because it should be really easy to educate drivers and for them to understand the dangers of not wearing a seatbelt, which is a massive killer, and driving while being drunk should also be pretty obvious that it's not something you should do.
I think South Africa, there's been quite a few reports that says that we have an issue with alcohol abuse or alcoholism, etc., in our country. So you're saying that it should be relatively easy to educate people. How do we get South Africa to that 10% or lower that you say Europe has?
Well, I'm not saying it should be easy, but I'm saying in theory, I thought it would be easier than it is. But I think South Africa has a massive problem here. This is a modern problem that South Africa has to solve, because your roads really are very dangerous when looking at the data. And I think that you have to have massive awareness campaigns. You have to have stricter driver's education. You have to have stricter laws if people are disobeying the laws, the driving laws. So, for example, if you see someone driving drunk, then you have to fine that person. Fine them very much so they won't do it again. If you see someone not wearing a seatbelt, stop that driver and fine them a lot of money, because I think that's a very good solution, to be proactive when it comes to police and stop these drivers that are doing the wrong thing, to make sure that people get scared of doing these things because they know that they will probably get caught. So that's important, I think. But yeah, it's really important. And I also think you have to focus on men as well. And that could be a helpful tip, because men stand for about, let's see the numbers. So, well, a disproportionately huge number, like 4 out of, if you have 4 traffic accidents that results in fatal traffic accidents, 3 out of those 4 are men. So it's really also disproportionately towards men in South Africa.
I mean, I'm hearing you, Leo, talk about implementing stricter rules, having people be fined, but I don't know if if you're aware that in South Africa, I mean, I'm not generalizing, but in South Africa, our other problem is that we do have police officers who take bribes. So even if there should be, fines, and actually they are there, the implementation is where we go wrong.
Yeah, and if that's the case, because I don't live in South Africa, so I don't have that insight, but that's also a massive problem. And how are you then going to tackle these problems? So then it has to be, I would say, this has to really be a hot debate, and I'm extremely happy that our report actually has received the attention that it's received, and it's really, I hope it will make an impact in South Africa and will save a lot of lives, because this is a topic that really needs to be addressed in South Africa, because it's very bad. And yeah, let's just frame it like this. The road deaths in South Africa are too damn high.
And that's how we end that interview. Well, thank you so much, Leo Waldenback. He is the co-founder of Zutobi. It's an driver's education organization, and I think as South Africans, actually, with us listening to what he just said, he called us the worst in the world. He basically used the word, it's too damn high. So wherever you are at home, I hope you're embarrassed to hear that.